Hey guys, what's up? So I'm back with the review of a new book, and the name of the book is uh, Guardians of the Gate: Military History of the Mohyal Fighting Brahmins, written by Major General D Bakshi. So this is a book. Yeah, this is Mr. Major General D Bakshi. You would have definitely seen him. Most of you would have seen him on the news channels. Especially he comes quite regularly on the English news channels, especially the uh, news channel of Arnab Goswami. So you will find him means he is mostly called for whenever whenever some expert opinion is required as far as the defense matters are concerned. So you will always find him in one news channel or the other. So basically, Mr. J.D. Bakshi has written this book on Mohyals. He is also Mohyal. I am also Mohyal, and so he has tried to just find out. He has tried to just go to his roots. He has tried to find his roots. Means what are the Mohyals, from where they came, what is their history, what is their contribution to India. So that's what he tried to find out, and he has written a good book. So anybody who wants to know who the Mohyal Brahmins are, what are their means what are their surnames, so he can read this book and he will get a good understanding. uh, Mostly this book has been written from the military point of view, from the point of view of the defense, that how the Mohyal Brahmins have played a crucial role in the defense of India till date. And you will find a lot of Mohyal Brahmins in army, in air force, in navy also. So just a brief introduction about what are the Mohyal Brahmins. So basically, Mohyal Brahmins are those people uh, whose surname is any of the means whose surname is any of these which I am about to mention. So anybody whose surname is either Vad, Datta, Chibbar, Bali, Mohan, Low, and Bhumals. These seven surnames. Anybody having any of these seven surnames, he is a Mohyal. So these are the seven castes of Mohyals. So they all are descendants of various means. They all come from different uh, different. They all are means, you can say, the children of various rishis. So that lineage has is coming for for a lot of time, for many generations now. So this book has 212 pages. The publisher of the book is KW Publishers Private Limited. This book has 14 chapters, and the cost of the book is 460 rupees. But you will definitely get some discount if you will buy it from either Flipkart or Amazon. And there will be some discount surely. I will give the link of both Flipkart and Amazon. So if you want to buy, you can buy it from there. Now coming back to the book. So as I mentioned, there are 14 chapters in the book. So yeah, so the chapters are like a paradigm shift in Indology from the Indus to the Saraswati. So as per G.D. Bakshi, this Indus water civilization means whatever has been taught to us in the history by these leftists and the Marxist historians. He says that it is all rubbish. In the Our civilization is the Saraswati civilization, not the Indus civilization. By Saraswati, he means that the Saraswati river that used to flow in the ancient times, now it is invisible. But he says that that is our civilization from. Uh, so he has written another book also on this particular thing. The Saraswati civilization is the name of the book. I have not yet read it. I would surely like to read it. So this first chapter deals with that. Then the second chapter is the he gives more detail on the Mohyals. Means the second chapter is genealogy, reflections on caste, Saraswat Brahmins and the Mohyal clans. So he goes into some more detail in this chapter what the Mohyal clans are all about. As I told you, the Mohyal clans are like Vad, Datta, Chibbar, Bali, Mohan, Lo, and Bhumal. So he gives some more detail on it in this second chapter. In the third chapter, he talks about the first rebellion, the battle axe of Parshuram, and the rise of the fighting Brahmins. So, as per Mr. G.D. Bakshi, The first fighting Brahman was Lord Parshuram, who is also considered an avatar of Lord Vishnu. So he says that he was the first fighting Brahman who means who means otherwise the Brahmins are considered mostly people who deal with all the religious affairs, whose job is just to read and teach. They will read Vedas and Purans and all this stuff, and they will teach. So mostly the Brahmins, the image of the Brahmins is that they are mostly into reading and teaching. But Mr. G.D. Bakshi is saying that uh, it was Lord Parshuram who started this culture that Brahmins can fight also. So Lord Parshuram fought a lot of battles, and he punished a lot of people who were not who were doing some hanky panky stuff. So he talks about it in this chapter. Then in the fourth chapter, then from the fourth chapter, he just starts putting more emphasis on what exactly he means by guardians of the gate. He says that the Mohyal Brahmins have been the guardians of the gate. They have protected India from many invasions from many for many centuries. As per Mr. G.D. Bakshi, in the fourth chapter, he says that the Mohyal Brahmins faced Alexander the Great also, facing the Greeks of Alexander. So in the fourth chapter, he gives details about that how Mohyal Brahmins fought against Alexander the Great and even injured him, and then he died in the way while going back to his native country. And in the fifth chapter, he goes on to talk about the Bhumiyars of the imperial Mauryan Empire and the Sunga dynasty. So he says that these that what role Brahmins played in the army of the Mauryan kingdom and the Sunga dynasty. So he gives detail about that also. Then the sixth chapter talks about the Arab interlude, the heroic role of the Brahmins in the Karbala war. So he mentions that means a lot of Shia Muslims also talk about it that the Mohyal Brahmins they participated in the war of Karbala. They fought from the side of Imam Hussein, and I think some Mohyal Brahmins also lost their lives in this fight. So he just explains it in detail that what role Mohyal Brahmins have played, and that's why they are called the Hussaini Brahmins or the Hussaini Dattas, or with these sort of terminologies, the Shia Muslims they just this is the with this they call the Shia Muslims called uh, those Brahmins who participated in the war of Karbala. They call them by the name of Hussaini Brahmins or Hussaini Dattas because it's written in this chapter that it was one of the Dattas, someone from the Datta clan um, who fought in the Battle of Karbala from Imam Imam Hussain sides. And then the seventh chapter talks about the Shahi Mohyal Brahmin dynasty of Afghanistan halting the Arab invaders. So in this chapter, G.D. Bakshi Saab gives more detail about the Shahi dynasty of Afghanistan. As per Mr. J.D. Bakshi, he is saying that the Shahi dynasty, the Mohyal Brahmin dynasty of Afghanistan, they didn't allow the Arab invaders to enter India. They kept kept on defeating them for 300 years. 300 years, the Arab invaders were not able to uh, they were not able to defeat the Shahi dynasty of Afghanistan, and this way, that's why this term "guardians of the gate" means Afghanistan at that time was considered the gate to India. So if anybody has to come to India, and if anybody has to attack India, he has to first destroy Afghanistan. Now it is called Afghanistan. At that time, it was called by various other names like Kandahar and a lot of stuff. So at that time, the Shahi dynasty was ruling there, and they warded off the Arab invasion for 300 years. So the Arabs could not enter for 300 years. The Arabs could not attack India for 300 years because every time they were getting defeated in Afghanistan, in that region only. So that's what is explained in a lot of detail in this chapter, the seventh chapter. And then in the eighth chapter, Judy Bakshi Saab talks about the invasion of Sindh, Chach and Dahir, resisted by Mohyal Brahmin rulers. He says that when the Arabs they could not attack India from the Afghanistan side, then they attacked India from the Sindh side. So they attacked it from I think 2 or 3 times, and then they got succeeded. And there was one Raja Dahir over there who was killed by who was killed, and then this Muhammad bin Qasim entered. Means Muhammad bin Qasim was the person uh, who defeated Raja Dahir over there, and this way the Arabs entered India. Means this was the route from where uh, the Arabs entered Sindh route. They could not come from the Afghanistan route. And then he talks about the Turco-Mongol invasions, Holocaust from Afghanistan. Then he goes into detail that how that Afghanistan area was means the Arabs kept attacking those places, and slowly but steadily um, that for those kingdoms, the Shahi dynasty kingdoms, they got weakened, and because of their poor war tactics also of the Shahi dynasty, they got defeated. And then once they got defeated, then the Arabs and the Mongols who had already got converted by that time, the Mongols and the sorry, the Mongols and the Turks who had got converted by that time, they attacked and they defeated all these kingdoms from the Afghanistan side, and then they attacked India. And you know, these Mongolian invasions, how much damage they have caused. Like people like Tamur and all these people, they attacked India, and they just went on. They just looted India multiple times. Ghaznavi and these sort of people. And then he talks about the Mughal Empire, how the Mughals came into India, the battles of Panipat, and what exactly happened in those battles. The 11th chapter is about the rise of the Sikhs and the role of Mohyals in the Indian military revival. So in the 11th chapter talks about the how the Sikhs how the Sikh community rose, and how they defended India, and how they fought against various invaders. And also here he mentions the role of the Mohyals. Means in the Indian military you will find that many Mohyals have played a stellar role. Many have sacrificed their lives. Means many Mohyals have gone on to the top positions of the army, top positions of the army, navy, as well as in the air force. So 11th chapter talks about that. 12th chapter talks about the British Empire, Mohyal as a martial race, fighting Brahmins of the cavalry. So in this chapter, Mr. G.D. Bakshi says that Britishers always respected the Mohyal Brahmins for their bravery, and they gave them good positions in the British army. And Mohyal Brahmins were known for their war skills. How means they knew how to fight wars. They knew how to fight, and that's why they were really respected by the British people. And then he talks about Arya Samaj, freedom struggle, and the Holocaust of partition. Means so how the Arya Samaj movement started, what roles Mohyal played in the creation of the Arya Samaj movement, how this movement became big, and as we know today, the Arya Samaj is a very means man. There are a lot of followers in India of Arya Samaj, and the role of Mohyals in the freedom struggle, and the in the what happened in partition, that this whole Mohyal community was means it got really scattered. Means some came and settled in J&K, some came and settled in Punjab, some in Delhi, some in other parts of India. So means in this chapter he talks of how the partition, it just scattered this community. This community is already very less, the Moyal community. It is not even 10 lakh people, but even they got scattered. Otherwise, they people used to live together. And then the last chapter is about the Mohyal Sabha, and the name of the chapter is Resurrection, the role of the General Mohyal Sabha. So how Mohyal Sabha played a role in uniting all the Mohyal Brahmins, giving them one platform and bringing them under one umbrella, by opening various Mohyal Sabhas. And then there are a few guest houses also, like like in Haridwar and in Vrindavan. I have gone to the Vrindavan guest house. It's a very good one. Means it is means you will get it is for the Mohyals only, and the Mohyals get very means at very subsidized rates. You get good accommodation there, and the food also you get there. I stayed there for I think 2 3 days in when I went to Vrindavan in 2017 February or March. Yeah, it was a great experience. So Mohyal Sabas are doing a great job in this respect, that they are giving the platform to all the Mohyals to come together. I think they also arrange some I think some matrimonial ads also they just publish, so that the Mohyals can marry inside, means अपनी कास्ट में ही शादी कर लें, अपनी ये जो 7 जो clans हैं, they marry in those clan in these 7 castes only, and they don't marry outside, so as to so you can say protect this clan, this Mohyal clan. So that was the brief introduction from my side about this book, Guardians of the Gate: Military History of the Mohyal Fighting Brahmins. So once again, I am repeating that this book is written mostly from the defense point of view. Means if so, don't expect that here a history would be, means a history would be given some other context is there. The thrust of the book is on the defense, how Mohyals have played a role in saving India, in defending India, what they have been doing, what they've been doing on for the last many years, many centuries. So that's the focus of the book. So anybody who is interested in knowing कि भाई ये मोहयाल लोग कौन होते हैं, ये what exactly are these people, what are their which are those surnames who constitute the Mohyal, so that person can read this book, and what exactly Mohyals have done till date, and what has been their contribution in the various wars, in the various battles. That person should read this book. Anybody, I think, any war historian or anybody who likes to read war history, or anybody who likes reading something related to bravery, valor, that person should read this book. So yes, I think it has been a good effort by Major General G.D. Bakshi sahab. There are some printing mistakes are there. There are some. I think sometimes the book gets a little repetitive. The same thing is mentioned in different chapters, but overall I think it's a good read. I am not the person who gives any rankings that 10 में से 8 या 7 या 6. I will not give that. I think every book has its own target audience. Every book has its own genre, and every book is written with a purpose. I think this book is written with a purpose, that to make people aware about the Mohyal Brahmins. I think that purpose has been served by this book, and people should read this book. I would urge people to read the book. Book lovers, and non-fiction book lovers, I think they will find this book interesting. So that's all from my side, and I will put the links of both the Amazon and the Flipkart. Means if you want to buy the book, so I will put the links of the both Flipkart and Amazon, from where you can buy this book if you are interested. And so this is the second review that I have done in 2 days, and there is one more book that I'm about to finish, and as soon as I finish it, I will publish the review of that book also, and I hope you will like it. And as I mentioned yesterday also, that now I will be more regular in giving the reviews of the books that I am reading. Because of the COVID, I was also a little you can say, means it just threw me off my track. Also, there was some office work also, and there was some personal stuff also that was going on, in which I was very busy. So now I am a little free, so I am finding time to read the books and to review them also, and to make videos of them. So that was all from my side, and I hope you like this review, and if you and if I made some sense to you, then please subscribe to my channel, and like my video, and share it with your family, friends. That will give me the motivation to make new videos, and we'll try to Yeah, we'll try to just keep sharing my whatever I understand after reading a book. I will keep on sharing that stuff with you in days and months to come. So thanks, guys. Thanks for your time, and happy reading. Bye bye.